Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Good Orderly Direction, Practical Tools of the Bible. I'm your host, Dr. Donnelly Snipes, and today we're talking about Exodus 14. The complaints begin. When the king of Egypt was told that the people had fled, he changed his mind again and said, "What have we done? We've let the Israelites go and lost their services." So he wasn't worried about the good people. He was worried about the fact that he lost slaves. He had his chariot made ready and took his army with him. When the Israelites looked up and there were Egyptians marching after them, they were terrified and cried out to the Lord. They said to Moses, "Was it because there were no graves in Egypt that you brought us to the desert to die? What have you done by bringing us out of Egypt?" So the first lesson here is that change is hard. Whenever we start to make a change, whether we're moving and starting a new life, or we are choosing a major, or we are choosing a vacation. I guess vacation, probably not hard, but change is hard. And there are going to be times it is really uncomfortable. And big changes can be really scary at times. Following God can be hard because he encourages you to move forward into the unknown and requires faith in his compassion and strength. We've seen that a lot over the past few years as our country and maybe even the world has become more divisive. The people who have chosen to follow God and good orderly direction have been in a place where they may have felt scared to talk about their beliefs. They may have felt like they would be hurt or chased after, if you will, if they expressed their beliefs. And so it took a lot of courage for people who believed in God, who follow God, to continue to have faith in his compassion and strength and continue to follow good orderly direction despite the fact that it's not easy, despite the fact that we can guess that there will be some element of persecution. And the Bible even tells us that, so this is not a surprise. The people pray for rescue, but also cling to the belief that they're probably going to be killed. When you feel overtaken by hopelessness and helplessness, how can you shake that feeling instead of focusing on the worst case scenario, the doom and gloom? How can you find faith in the process, faith in God to show you the way, faith in good orderly direction, in the body of Christ, in all of those humans on earth who follow God to unite and help you get through whatever process or whatever issue it is? Moses answered the people, "Don't be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today, you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." The Lord said to Moses, "Why do you keep calling out to me for help? Tell the Israelites to move forward. Then hold your walking stick over the sea. The water will open up and make a road where they can walk through on dry ground. I will make the Egyptians so stubborn that they will go after you." So there's a couple interesting points here. Moses is reassuring the people that they've done all the hard work. They have united, and God will take it from here, if you will. And then we see that the Lord is saying to Moses, "Why do you keep calling out to me for help?" Basically, this is God saying, "Moses, you got this. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in the process. Do what you feel called to do." All this time, God's angel had gone ahead of Israel's army, but now he moved behind them, between the Egyptians and the Israelites. The cloud gave light to the Israelites, but made it dark for the Egyptians. The same thing that gives you hope and direction may cause other people confusion and disorientation. This is something, again, we've seen a lot over the past few years as we've become more divisive. Instead of taking each other's perspectives, instead of trying to understand one another, instead of respecting one another's boundaries and agree to disagree, if you will, we've seen a lot of confusion when other people can't see or understand what you're doing. It makes them fearful. And we know that a response to fear is anger, fight or flee. So the people who don't understand often, instead of trying to understand, feel threatened and launch into a defensive attack, if you will. Moses then stretched his arm over the sea, and the Lord sent a strong east wind that blew all night until there was dry land where the water had been. The sea opened up, and the Israelites walked through on dry land with the wall of water on each side. The Egyptian chariots and cavalry went after them. Their chariot wheels got stuck. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the sea so that the waters may flow back over the Egyptians and their chariots and horsemen." The entire army that had followed the Israelites had died. But the Israelites went through the sea on dry ground with a wall of water on their right and their left. So the Egyptians, the evil ones, saw the path that God was making for the Israelites and tried to take advantage of it. They tried to join up, not because they believed in the mission, not because they wanted to support the people or they wanted to start embracing good, orderly direction, but because they wanted to catch the Israelites and bring them back to slavery. When we act out of sinful motivations, we too can get stuck. It's hard to change our ways, to relinquish our power, to be humble and have faith and see other ways of doing, of believing, of being. So think about who is pursuing you. In what ways is God creating a path forward? In what ways is God confusing your pursuers and creating chaos in their ranks? How do you see the opposition, if you will, crumbling or at least becoming open to learning, open to developing an attitude of respect?